All right, so basically we'll just start with how are you doing this week or last 2 weeks?
Pretty okay.
Okay.
Yeah, classes are just pretty neutral right now.
Any updates on the class that you had that unfortunate teacher in?
Still not going great.
Okay.
Yeah, because she's leaving, she's pretty much just given up.
Okay. And then as far as like the assignment that you had like with me,
still no update on that.
Nothing.
No, she said hopefully after spring break, which is then like almost a month of time for her to grade stuff. So.
Are you still gonna manage to pass the class though?
Hopefully. Yeah, I should.
Does she like update grades on you
No.
or no?
No.
Have you like tried to ask her?
Yeah, we asked her today, and she said she'll get the first grades up for the semester after spring break.
Okay. Hopefully, that's still like middle.
Yeah.
That would get scary.
Yeah.
Let's see. How's your floor doing?
Good. I'm trying to think of who I saw in the last week or two. Well, Sam dropped off some of the canned goods stuff and hung around for a while. I asked her if Sam Mueller in 407. I think she gave like 8 or 10 like canned goods in a bag. And I asked her if she wanted to participate. And she was like, "No, not interested in sports." And I was like, "That's totally okay. Like, do you just want your name to go in?" She's like, "Well, I'm just giving the cans."
Okay.
I was like, "Okay."
At least that's nice. And again, like you asked like in the group me if they don't want to participate. Is that cool? Again, like the purpose of the event is for the interaction with the students, because that's what we ultimately want, but also the donations, because that's more important than like the prize or whatever.
We're not necessarily just handing out a prize.
We're doing it for a good cause, and luckily, there's students like that want to just give, as opposed to just like
We're like the posters. We're just a reminder, like, oh, I have stuff. I want to give it.
So that's always nice. Have you sparked any more interest with other people, or just that one student?
I've asked how people, like, if they saw the posters for yet, and some of them said they haven't seen the posters, or they're just not interested, or they kind of shrug it off, and like if they're not interested in an event, they'll kind of like go on a tangent about something else. And
do you think? Because again, we're still gonna wait on getting the RHA approval for the prizes in case I won't need to buy them, but again, like I'm willing to buy them. Should we like kind of announce what the prizes will be, because maybe that will spark the interest, because they're supposed to like win prizes on the signs.
Yeah,
it might not be helpful.
I was wondering that too, because like the wording between $50 like valued prizes versus like we're giving away a blanket and a mug, I think saying we have $50 like worth of prizes is way better, because then it kind of keeps the mystery too. Where some people may be like, I don't want a blanket, don't want a mug, so I'm not gonna play.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay. So I'll try to go in the mark with the markers and update those signs, just so students can see, and then I'll send another email today, because I was still planning on doing that to kind of remind students. Mm-hmm. So hopefully,
just give them like some sort of countdown, like you have this many days left to register.
So hopefully we get some more interest. And if anything, again, getting students that can donate more than enough, just because that's always nice.
And the multiple reminders is good too, because they might see an email and just delete it right away. So if they get it again, they'll be like, "Oh, he means business."
So as far as, let's say, your bulletin boards, how's that looking?
Good. Door decks are up, and then I have the plan for what I want to go on the next one, and I have like all the paper and like stuff ready to rock and roll with it. But
what is the plan again?
So I'm gonna stick with like the spring type theme, and I'm gonna do rain, and it's going to be like how to stay motivated in spring semester.
Okay.
So like, I don't know what the title will be, but the title will be in the clouds up here, and then there will be bigger raindrops that like are the tips on how to stay motivated, and then smaller raindrops around the big ones. So it'll kind of look like the flower one.
Yes.
Where it's all
like
one
leaves.
piece, but they're kind of disconnected.
Alright, that's cool.
Yeah. I don't know where to put it.
Yours is really, because I walked out on the floor yesterday in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like because you continue to do the theme, and it's pretty easy for you to continue with it.
Yeah,
like the bees and stuff.
Yeah, I like the bees.
Yeah,
and
I'm glad they're not like bees
no,
you gave us.
No.
because those were funny. But I was like, I don't know. I kept the cigarette on there.
Yeah, I saw that.
Just for you, because I was like, I can't. This is art.
I didn't hang mine up. Everybody else hung there. So.
You should totally do that.
I'm going to.
No, I don't. And then let's see what else. Bulletin board Nordics are good. How do you feel like the interactions have been going again, like this last 2 weeks compared to maybe before? Or?
I think they're good. I'm trying to just approach people a little bit more casually,
okay.
Rather than with intent, because I think going to them with intent of like promoting an event, I kind of psych myself out with it, and I try to jump in to that right away.
Okay.
It's like, oh, how's your day going?
And
you want to participate in the bracket? And it's like, I don't even give them a chance really, but just trying to have like a regular conversation.
Maybe giving them an opportunity to to like want to talk with you as opposed to like, just being bombarded with stuff. Okay.
Like if I just ask them how their week's going, or like how everything's going with their roommates, like that's a pretty open-ended question. If they just say good, like the fact that I talk to them at all is better than trying to like promote something, because then if I'm always trying to promote something to them, or always trying to get them to do something, or I want something from them, then that's what they're going to associate seeing me with.
Okay. Which wouldn't be bad, but again, you want them to be willing to approach you for anything else besides those things.
Definitely.
Okay.
Like I don't want them to see me and be like, oh, he must want something from me.
Okay. Yeah, because you always like, you even get like your good friends that you message us like, hey, you got this?
Yep.
And they're like, well, you can say hi, or at least like, okay, I get that. Let's go with, what's next to talk about? The student that, so I talked to the 3 students from that room.
Yes.
What room was it for?
21.
21. The 2 students that didn't meet with you were emotional about it compared to... Did
you get a chance to meet with both of them?
I met with everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can see how they're a little bit emotional about it, and kind of, I wouldn't say more frustrated, they're more just like almost like drained emotionally from like the situation, just because they've apparently tried to talk with her and she has not given them anything back. And Maddie said that she's willing to move out of the room if she has to. Like if her and Jenna want to move out, I think that kind of says to me that, it's that drastic that she's willing to even move like 2 people as opposed to just like the one that's in there. And she never even like, as opposed to some students that have asked me to like, hey, can you remove this person in the room, which we can't do obviously. She's like more than willing to move herself. So
didn't see that coming.
So what I'm going to do is probably talk with them again to see what they want to do. It can be easier for us to just move the one person, which I'll totally again bring it up. She says she's willing, but I want to just make sure again. And then did you get to meet with her?
I didn't.
Okay. No. Did she respond to your email or nothing? Okay. Just check on her again.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she might be like the overthinking things.
Yeah.
Especially if she feels like maybe they've been targeting her or anything. Again, like she's the one who approached you. But maybe knowing that I've talked to the rest of them, that she might be like, what do they say? What's going on? Type of thing. But I'll meet with them sometime soon. Hopefully by that, maybe Friday, but probably next week.
Yeah.
Especially since Elise has been willing to wait a little bit to move out because she needs that time. I think we have some time to work with that.
Yeah. I'll send her another email tonight, because I also gave her my schedule, and I told her, like, this is definitely when I'll be around my room, and I gave her, I think, like, 4 or 5 different big time slots to come around. And she hasn't yet.
And obviously we don't want to pressure her to come and speak to you if she doesn't want to speak, but sometimes it takes a little push from us to be like, hey, what's going on?
And I can see that with like this situation.
Yeah, especially if they confronted it, but they also don't really want to confront it again.
Yeah.
And especially if they're like already getting emotionally drained about the situation, and it's already getting to spring break, which is usually like the midterm time, and April's coming. Like it's literally like almost at the end of the semester now, where any little thing can spark something bigger and just cause more emotions that are not needed for the end of the semester. So we'll work on that. Let's see. There's no maintenance stuff going on or nothing.
I don't think so.
Okay.
People have been pretty good.
And you said that during the meeting yesterday that some students have been emailing you about the keys being picked up by Hannah?
Yes. Okay. And that they know that somebody knocked for the keys, but that they weren't around.
Okay.
Their email is confusing because their wording was along the lines of, feel free to come to my room anytime, it's on the counter, pick it up. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, no. Like, we'll just try again sometime when you're around.
You can always try to email them back saying, like, hey, I'm in my room now, or...
Yep. That's what I'm going to do.
Okay, because that'll be easier for them, especially if they're around.
Yep, and then to help Hannah out, I'm going to write on my whiteboard, like, picking up the last of the keys. Feel free to stop by my room still. Because then I can just pass them off to Hannah instead of, like, having Hannah solely do it by herself.
Yeah, because she's been doing a lot. She has all the keys. But luckily she's been very organized with everything, so...
Yeah.
I don't think we have that much left, but I still have to kind of get an update from her. But she's doing it kind of more daily than usual, so...
when I turned my bag into her, I think there was maybe 15 to 20 left on my floor.
And you collected a lot with Sam?
A lot.
Okay.
Yep.
And then, speaking about Sam, I've already talked with some of the RAs about kind of getting a little bit more help for Sam, and I know as far as the concerns from them, and I want to kind of see if you feel the same, is not feeling confident in his ability, or like when he's on duty, worrying about him, like doing something wrong, or like having to need you when usually, you know, if a situation doesn't require more people, that you should have the confidence in the rest of the staff to do their job and not have to need you, especially if you're doing schoolwork or you're trying to just still hang out with your girlfriend or something. So how do you feel about the situation with him?
I don't know, because I'm trying to think back to when I started and comparing it to that. What I keep kind of going back to the fact that when I started, I didn't have any training at all because I came in 2 weeks to a semester because somebody was fired and I took their position instead. And so I kept reminding myself, like when I started, there's a lot of things changing for me, but I just need to kind of like step up in my responsibilities. I need to review that and make that a priority. So I don't know if Sam is doing that, or if he just needs like help figuring out how to prioritize the RA role, like with school, because that's a tough thing to figure out. Like Al is new this year, and I think she's even still figuring it out and like trying to find the balance. But probably just helping Sam figure out where his responsibilities.
Yeah, and I think he knows that he's struggling, and when I brought up the refresher course, it wasn't really because I felt like everybody needed it. It was more for him and more from like the RAs expressing their concerns, and you know, we don't want to target anybody, and if somebody needs help, you know, we want to be willing, and Michaela has been more than willing, obviously. You saw yesterday how she just jumped on it and like gave every little question possible. So, you know, I'm glad you guys are willing to help out, and I'm glad that you are willing to kind of to take a step back as opposed to just blaming him for not trying and seeing how, like, you know, I used to be at that point. And so I appreciate that, and I appreciate you guys, like, you know, still giving him the information he needs and not, like, just brushing it off because you're like, what's the point, like, type of thing. So I'm glad you guys are still willing to help him out.
I think it was, like, a year from now when we're halfway through fall semester, I would approach it a little bit differently because it's like you've had this time on, like, and 2 training sessions to do it.
Something I talked with Danny about was possibly, well, I feel he would need to do all the training again for the new RA, like as a new RA for the fall. Yeah. And that's what I'm going to recommend to the future hall director of here, but also to Deb, just because I think just throwing him in a new role that we just established kind of also is confusing him a bit, because as much as he is an RA, it's still a little bit different from what you do. Yeah. As for your specific position, so I still want him to kind of do all that stuff, and I think it'll give you guys the time to bond as well. because as much as you guys bonded with Al, trying to help her out
Mhm.
with the process, like I'm sure he will appreciate it and feel a little bit more connected with you guys. Not that he feels like you guys are being like off and like don't want to talk to him. It's just like, you know, he hasn't had that opportunity like Al or everybody else on the staff to connect like during the camp stuff and all that thing. So,
because 2 weeks versus 2 days is huge for training, and I know that when I came in, like I did have the semester under my belt, but I still redid all of training
for spring.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, we're working on that with him, and I'll talk with him a little bit more to kind of notice those things and. Excuse me. Yeah, because I was worried before hiring him about his academics, but he seems to be doing okay in that, and he's seeking advising help. So he's doing what he needs to do on his academic side. So we'll focus now on getting him a little bit more amped up for the leadership RA position, and I think. You know, he's only been in the position for 2 months now. He still needs time, obviously, and I think with repetition, he'll start getting it and feel a little bit more confident when he like knocks on the door.
Yeah.
But I think next year we could, like, as a staff, would be a better like indication if he's actually grasping it, and he's actually trying to grasp it, as opposed to like not trying at all and not being the RA that he should be. So.
Yeah, there was, like when we watched him demo that situation yesterday, I forget how much there's stuff that I just automatically do now when I approach a room.
Hold on, let's start this.